love me when I'm in it, and she never be pretending. Nothing is friend. She gon' tell you what she bought it, cause she know you can't afford it. Know you can get it, looking exquisite, no competition.
Hi, everyone. Cannot wait for you to meet my guest today. It is Mrs. Susan Bennett. You are going to love her. You're going to learn so much from her. She's amazing. No need to hear any more from me. Let's hear from the professional. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Miss Susan Bennett in the building.
Hey, just
Change my
adjusting
graphics.
my camera here. For
Oh, no
some
worries.
reason, every time I go live, my picture looks crooked. I don't know why.
It's trying to set you up.
I usually just take it off the wall. I think it's my
Yeah.
desk must be crooked and my lap. I don't know, but it drives me crazy.
I have that problem, but I like try to move myself so it doesn't bother me.
Yes, I know
Otherwise
everybody
it drives
goes
me nuts.
live in a corner. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, maybe I should go live in a corner. Maybe that's what I
Well, so the reason I do is because if I'm facing outwards, the problem is I'll start like all behind me is just like French doors and closet. Like it's
Yeah,
nothing interesting to look at. So
exactly.
at least over here, I can like hang up art and have a little shelf with some fun stuff to make it interesting, show a little personality allegedly.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Crazy stuff, right?
You know, yeah. So how's everything going?
You know what? It's such a blessing. It's such a, crazy time, but I have been crazy busy. Like, and it's
Super busy.
awesome. Everything that's ever happened for me in business has really come from something bad happening,
Okay.
which I know that sounds strange, but
No,
and
I
it
was listening to something today, and they were saying a lot of times when like what is it? Desperation is the mother of invention. So it could be on that same field that some people, when bad things happen, they rise to the top. So I don't know.
yes, it's
Go ahead.
crazy
Sorry.
because I mean, and so now it's like I really started just like, hey, I see a lot of people using Zoom right now, and I've been using Zoom for like 5 years. Like Zoom is like, please, it's I don't even think about. It. I'm like Zoom, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, you know. And so I
So
started noticing a lot of my audience were using Zoom, and I said, you know what, like, let me help them. Like, I need to show them what to do because a lot of people have been struggling. And so I started
mhm.
like doing what I called Quarantine University. And so I started doing I did a free class on Zoom to show people how to use it, how they can use it for their business or anything like that. And it really went crazy. It just started from there.
Well, even before then, though, you've been
Oh, I have.
busy for a long time because I
Yeah.
know I've been following you for a very long time, and I can't remember exactly how long ago it was that I
Yes.
started doing your noontime lives, which I
Yes.
don't think you're doing anymore, but
Yes.
maybe I'm
Yes.
just missing it because I'm not on right at noon anymore now that I'm
Right.
homeschooling. But
Hmm.
like, tell us a little bit from your start because I think it's so fascinating how you started at Bank of America, like
Hmm.
super cushy, well, at least
Yeah.
financially cushy corporate job,
Yes.
and then decided to become an entrepreneur because I think so many women
Hmm.
and men right
Yep.
now are contemplating that because now that they're home and spending more time with their family and seeing how they can kind of like
Hmm.
they're starting to balance it all, maybe there's someone like you that could teach them to take that leap.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this time, and I would say super excited. I'm a super excited person, but
Yeah, you
yes,
are.
thank you. So I actually have 20 years of experience in corporate America, computer programming. Yes, I am a girl who codes, and I spent all this time. I grew up very poor. I worked very hard for all these degrees that I have. I was super excited. I really felt like hey, I made it. Like, this is it. Like, I've got my corporate job. I'm a vice president at a Fortune 50 company. Like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what more could I want? And so what ended up happening was we actually got into a legal situation with our barbershop, with our leasing company. And we were really upset. Like, we felt like it seemed like a really unfair situation to us. And so what I did is, instead of kind of wallowing in the sadness of that situation, is I decided, you know what, that's it. We're not going to focus on ourselves. Like, there's tons of people in Charlotte that don't have enough food to eat. Like, let's have a food drive at the barbershop. I can't have it at my house, right? Can't have it at my cubicle.
Knock, knock, bringing food. Huh? What?
So I had it at my barbershop, and the
Okay.
only reason I ever started doing social media marketing was to tell people where to bring the food for the food drive. I also did one thing that is kind of crazy, is that I actually started doing, I didn't even know it was called PR. I didn't know all of this stuff. And from that first food drive I did in 2013, I found an article on the Hawaii News Now network, 5,000 miles away.
Yeah.
We got an award from the Andes Clipper Company for community involvement that we did not know existed. And so that was crazy, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we also were featured in the Hair magazine.
Get it, girl.
Yes.
Just from one good
what?
looking out for your community, and look how it paid forwards, which is another sign to volunteer and help your fellow community, because you just never know where it could lead. That's amazing. So then when you made that leap from corporate to, I was about to say staying at home, because I'm so used to saying staying at home now. But when you made that leap from corporate into being an entrepreneur, when did you know it was the right moment to take that leap? Because a lot of times people wait for that perfect moment, or when everything's ready, or they have to have this, they have to have that. And I love how you, like, I've heard you several times over the years. So I've heard this already, but I think others would just get so much from you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you one thing that I have learned from entrepreneurship is, I don't know what other people believe, but you have got to have faith. Okay, you have got to have faith, and that is something that I have learned. Like, entrepreneurship has made me a very spiritual person, okay, more than I was before. And you really start to understand what faith means. Yes, I am married, but it's scary to step away from something that's so sure, having a regular paycheck. And I worked so hard to get there. I worked so hard to get that job. I was a contractor there for a long time before I even got to full time. And, there's just so many hurdles and everything.
And being a woman in technology as well, like that's a big hurdle as well, especially for Bank of America. It's not like you were working for a small organization that nobody's ever heard of.
Right. Yes, definitely a huge company. And so it was definitely very scary. And I'm going to tell you, so I kept, in the banking world, layoffs are very common. Like, if you've known anybody that's working in, so I had hoped that I would get laid off, because if I got laid off, I can get severance. And, I was like, okay, then that'll give me some time, So I was, sitting here thinking logically, let me plan on the carry the one. Okay, that sounds good. I can still get my paycheck for this long, right? But I tell everybody that God told me no. God actually told me no, that I could not get laid off, okay? And you may not have heard this story before, but
I'm ready.
Because I was like, yes, I have the perfect plan. I'm gonna quit, but I'll have my paycheck first. I'm gonna get laid off. I even asked my manager, I said, hey, so are we gonna have any layoffs or anything? And he's like, nope. But that's not when God told me no, okay? One day I actually got too much money in my paycheck. Okay. I know you're like, what do you mean you got too? Like, my paycheck was, when you get a paycheck, you're on salary. Your paycheck is the same.
Right.
Every year, every 2 weeks or however often you get paid, your paycheck is the same. So one day I got too much money in my bank account. So I called HR. You're at these huge companies. It's an 800 number to call HR. You don't know the people. You don't go to their office. So I had to call this 800 number. I call HR. I'm like, hey, I got too much money. And they look and they say, oh, you know what? Yes. So they canceled your vacation payout, but they forgot to cancel or they canceled your severance pay, but they forgot to cancel your vacation payout. And I was like, what do you mean? So they were going to lay me off, and they changed their mind. And so, yes. So for me, that was God saying to me, look, sorry, you got to have faith. You have to have faith. Like, you just have to jump. I gave you this passion. I pushed you down this path, but see, when you're one of these people that's really logical, you're always trying to do what's the right thing. And that's always how I've lived my life. I'm good at two shoes, and my husband likes to remind me.
There's nothing wrong with being a little bit cautious.
Yes, I am definitely that. Okay. I am that girl. I'm a double and triple checker. And so it was like, I really felt like, I want to make sure this is right. Like I had my plan and God had other plans. Okay. Like, no, if you have faith, you're just gonna have to jump.
Mm-hmm.
I already told you. And I do have, as I've gotten older, I've learned to listen to the voice inside. I do believe that's God. I don't know what the best believes, but that's how I
higher power.
right. And so that's how, I have, as I've gotten older, that's how I hear it inside. It's a very strong feeling, and it's quiet. It's not super loud, but it's a strong, like, hey, you should do this. And it's like, oh, wait, what? No, I wasn't going to do that. I worked hard to get here. Why would I quit? I got it going on
Like,
over here.
this is a real paycheck. And since you said like you grew up not having a lot, so it's
Right.
real hard to just wait, I could do this to myself after I finally got to this point. It's a real gamble. It can be very scary. I mean, I think even if you have good means, it can still be very scary to take that leap, to leave a nice benefits and a regular paycheck. Like, it's scary.
Yes, but I started getting so many different opportunities that I was like, I cannot be sitting here, I started working with some of my clients and they're like, hey, we need to promote this movie for Disney. Can you come? Like, we need to go to the Home Shopping Network. We need to go. And I'm
now,
like,
wait. Before you go into these clients, how did you get those clients? Like how, like you got to start. Tell me that too.
Yes.
I'm very curious how you and Kim started working together.
Yeah. So it's funny. We actually had a mutual friend that we've had for some time. And I guess he had been telling her about me for so long. And then when she was in the market for somebody, he's like, oh, I know the perfect person for you. And she said, who? Season? And I had never met her at this point, but he had told her so much about me that she already was like, okay, let me talk to this girl. Let me see what let me find out this infamous Season. Let me meet her. So that's kind of how that worked out. And it worked out great. Like, we've actually built a great friendship and partnering on some things. So it's been awesome. It's really been awesome. One thing that I've learned in life as I get older is when things are meant to be, they work out really easily. It's not, everybody always says, if you want, you got to work hard, but yes, you have to work hard, but it just kind of lines up and it works out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fight so hard for what's not meant to be. I guess I should say it like that.
The red flags are there for a reason. It's just it's to kind. I always say, like, because I've had some bumps and bruises here and there with different jobs and so on, that if it's that hard, it might be a reason to go a different direction or try a different way.
Exactly. So, yep, it's amazing. It's been really good. Like for me, working, in technology, like literally coding. Like I've literally spent a lot of time like actually coding, database programming, reporting, all this nerdy stuff. I could talk about it forever, but it's spending so much time doing all that. And then it's like a breath of fresh air to be able to be creative, but also taking my background in technology and being able to apply it to entrepreneurship has been super amazing. So things like, there's so many processes at a huge Fortune 50 company. Right. And I'm excited about the fact that as entrepreneurs, we're able to do those same things, like the same functionality, the same, automations are available. And most of them are probably free. The tools are free or almost free.
Right.
So it's crazy, I'll give you an example. So for instance, like, when people, I'm doing a class tonight with Kim,
and notes. People take notes. This is my warning. He's about to drop some knowledge. Take notes.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I'm videotaping this. I can watch it back.
Okay.
Where's my paper?
So, for instance, the class I'm doing tonight with Kim. So basically, I know that, like, look, I need things to be automated. Like, I can't be in the DMs and mailing people the link. So
I'm gonna write down the class. I'm listening. I just don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm writing because I already know what the class is about. So I'm just
okay.
Why you say it.
So this is just how I set my class up. This is just even how I set up all my classes, because I understand, like, when I prepare for a large volume of people, and I can't be emailing every single person. I can't DM every single person. Like, I have to set myself up for success. I have an assistant and all that, but we're gonna automate everything that we can. So what I do is, as soon as people pay, right, however they pay, I make sure that they are added to my email list. so that I can send additional email reminders to those people. I schedule those email reminders 1 day ahead, 3 hours ahead, 1 hour ahead, and starting now. Because, email, sometimes it can go to the junk, it can do all kinds of stuff. So I want to make sure that people see it. As soon as they pay, they get a registration email immediately. And I do that because people are going to join after the class starts. That's what happens every single time.
Yeah, people don't like to be on time. Just kidding.
Exactly. But I mean, people kind of are, it's kind of one of these
Especially in
things
the
you're like, I
industry.
want to take the class. I'm going to hold on to my money to the last. It happens every single time, guys. If you're doing an online class, the majority of the people are going to sign up at the last minute.
Okay.
So with that being said, make sure that you're sending out those emails. And I'm going to be honest with you, Camille.
Yeah.
I spent so much time working on so many other people's businesses, and really, I really love all the projects that I work on. I'm really invested to the
Right.
point where I'm annoyed with myself because I hadn't been following the advice that I've been giving all of my clients and my students. And so finally, this quarantine university was like a come on back home, mama. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
let's do what you know you're supposed to do. And so that is actually what I've been doing, is sending out those emails. Like, you have to send out those reminder emails. You're going to get unsubscribes.
Yeah.
You're going to get unsubscribes, but that's okay. That you're also going to get a lot more purchases.
Okay.
Okay. You
Good
can't
to
be
know.
afraid of the unsubscribe. They're going to happen. People, let me tell you, I'm not going to name your names. Okay. You know who you are. But I've even had people who have paid for classes from me and they click the unsubscribe button. They're like, you didn't tell me. I didn't get an email. I didn't know. I'm like, you unsubscribe. And they're like, well, can't you just add me back? I'm like, no, I cannot. Legally, I can't add you back. Like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
there are laws. There are actually laws, and you can be fined. Your email account can actually be suspended.
Had
Oh,
no idea.
yes, they're called. I believe it's can spam laws. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's
Like
kind of
dropping all the knowledge.
yes, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I had no idea because I know they have like they'll say sorry to see you go if you ever want to like
Mhm,
resubscribe something. I'm
mhm.
like, yeah, wait for it. But I don't think I've ever resubscribed to something I've unsubscribed because usually it's by that point I'm done for me to
Right,
unsubscribe. Just move you to my junk folder.
right,
Think about
exactly,
it. But
exactly.
yeah. Huh.
So, and the reason people might be wondering, like, they're like, I thought this lady was going to be talking about social media. Like, why is she talking about email? Okay. One of the major things I really want to impress on anybody that can hear my voice right now is everything that you do for your business, there has to be a direct line to money. How can you get paid for it? Okay. So I see a lot of people doing things online to be, maybe they're getting more followers. And I'm like, why? Why are you getting more followers? First, I'm going to
Mhm.
get more followers. Then I'm going to write a book. No, you write the book and you work on the followers while you're selling the book.
Okay.
You always need to be thinking about money. And I know people are like, Caesar, why do you always talk about money? Because no matter this,
No.
this is just my own unpopular opinion, but
Mhm.
because of the way that I grew up, I know that if you're not making enough money doing what you love, you're going to be forced to do something you don't
That's a very good point.
love.
Very good point. Wow. Let that sink in for a minute. That's
Yeah, because
absolutely
I
true.
see, and I use this example a lot, I see a lot of amazing barbers that are now truck drivers. And there's nothing wrong with being a truck driver, but if that's not what you really want to do, then
Mhm.
there's something wrong with
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. Like we've got some comments already. Nicole says compliance is a major issue in the virtual law and need to know the regulations and policies.
that. Right.
I'll get on it. She's my attorney cousin, so she always knows.
Yay. Hey, got to have one in the family. That's a good thing to have.
I'm so grateful to have such a smart family. And then she says, monetize, monetize, monetize.
That's right.
Always gets on me about, well, Camille, why are you doing this? Did you get paid to do that? Why are you doing? And I'm like, okay, mom, I'll get back. Well, I don't call her mom because she's
Yeah.
trying to help me. So
Right, right, right.
not
Right.
saying that moms don't help, but
Yeah,
I'm
but I
just
mean, I
ready
think
for help. Yeah.
people put a lot of emphasis on followers, and I mean, this is no shade to anybody, but followers do not equal money. Your sales processes equal money. Your products equal money, and you can't just have a product and make money. You have to sell it. Everything comes back to marketing.
Right. Can't be the best kept secret.
That's right. That's right. Or else you're going to be doing something you don't love. Like, that's just what it is. So, I mean, it's just a common thread I see all the time. People are like, I want to do this first. I need to get more followers. And it's like, look, go to myspace.com.
My favorite. I wish it would come back. I just have to say that. I loved MySpace.
You can still go there today.
Oh, I still have my account because I still have pictures from when my husband and I were dating. And so anytime he gets on my nerves, I'll just go there and be like, oh yeah, I still like him. He's cute. He's so
Sometimes you need to
cute.
remind him.
You just, you got to go back to why you fell in love to remind you sometimes when they're being a jerk, which is very rare, but I love my MySpace. It was fine. I almost learned coding from working on MySpace because you could do your own music. You could set your own it was way more interactive on that side too.
And see, that was before my social media days. Like, I started on Facebook. So yeah, so I was a little late to the party.
I even had Friendster. Do you remember Friendster? Do you remember even hearing about Friendster?
No, because I'm gonna tell you guys something. Okay, so people who are in corporate, they really avoid, especially once you get to a certain level in corporate, and especially like I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. People that are people of color that start to get to higher level positions in corporate America, they don't want to be on social media. Okay, because they don't want people to, to share their opinion, to like something that might cause conflict or make them uncomfortable in that corporate environment, because different people have different political beliefs, and they don't want people to infer stereotypes on them, unconscious bias, any more than just what comes with you being who you are. And so a lot of people really that are really into corporate and they're really in there for a career, they really shy a little bit more, so that's why you'll notice, like, even, if somebody who's in corporate, and even if they share a lot, they're very guarded a lot of times on their opinions.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'll like for a while, I'll be like, I won't say anything. Oh my gosh, I got to say something. But only on my private account. I try to keep public very neutral ground, although I do, it's funny. I actually was reaching out to some of the local, and maybe this is something you could actually help people with as well. I was reaching out to some local businesses, was interested in maybe trying to help promote them on my show, just since they're opening back up, just trying to help. Much like yourself, but just helping my community. And since I used to work in spa world, that was my main focus. But then I just started looking at women-owned businesses, because I know how difficult it must be to be now not only working from home, but you also have to maybe homeschool or other things that are added hats, having to cook 3 times a day now, like all the other stuff that you might be doing. So I was trying to help them. And someone suggested a certain company to me. And when I looked at their Instagram, I was like, there's zero diversity on here. Like, there's none. It was completely the exact same looking models, her almost an entire page. And so when she called me, I was like, I can't. It doesn't look like the audience I'm trying to reach. And I don't really want to suggest things to people where they might not feel comfortable going there or not, because it's, the climate's changed. You and I both live in the South, or in North Carolina to be even more specific.
In North Carolina.
So when she was like my heart breaks, I do try. And I'm like, you don't have any friends? Like, that says a lot more about you and not being able to find anyone. Because she says she's been trying. And I was just like, you can do better. I think a lot of like just trying to curate their social media to make sure that it is inclusive environment, that they are representing everyone. What other tips would you give people, since you are the social media guru? Would you give to people who are more
than anything? Like, I know everybody gets really caught up on this ideal of perfectionism. Everybody wants to know the latest app. Everybody wants to say, oh, now they've got this new feature. How do I make mine sparkle like that? How do I use everybody wants to know this latest thing. But I'm going to tell you, the tried and true thing is consistency.
Right.
That is the tried and true thing. It's the biggest
that's with
secret.
Everything, really.
It really is. It's the biggest secret in plain sight. And it's crazy because I'm going to say something that it's one of these thoughts that people have in the middle of the night. They don't even want to admit that they have these thoughts. They might see somebody else that's in their industry and they might feel like, what I do, my product, my service is way better than this other person, but they get more opportunities. It's consistency. It is consistency. It is remaining on message, remaining on brand, showing up every day, showing up all the time, even when you don't feel like showing up. And showing up can be posting. It can be sending an email. It can be just like, you don't build up an audience and disappear.
Right.
You just don't do that.
I would
There's
agree.
always going to be somebody who, a lot of people look at, oh, this person is so amazing. This big person here, they're the ultimate in whatever their industry is.
Right.
But guess what? There's always somebody else that can relate to you more. There's always people out there that are they want to talk to you. They don't care about that person. They'd rather talk to you. So show up, be there for them.
Yeah. And plus you don't really know who's watching. So the one day that maybe you don't show up is the one day maybe that person was like, oh, I was looking forward to seeing them, or I was finally ready to make that purchase, or whatever it may be. You just never know what you might miss out as well, I would say, with that as well.
And you end up losing your audience. And when I say lose your audience, is because people are out here and they need what you have. They need it. Like, they need it for, business, for whatever it is. You have the information that they need. And if you're not there to show up and give it to them, to answer their questions, they're going to move on because they need it.
Right.
Quit hiding. Like, they actually, if you can, and I think a lot of people do better with their marketing if they can think, wow, somebody out here really needs what I have to say. Like, they need it. I think it'll change their mindset.
Yeah. Now, what suggestions do you have with like now going through a pandemic? How do you think people's messages should change? Because I'm so sick of getting emails about we're here for you, we've changed, but now what? Okay, it's been a month. It's been over. Well, yeah, it's been over a month actually. So
it just seems like forever. But
it's Groundhog Day. Every day is it's just different outfits. Or for different interviews.
Exactly. I know. I'm just like, what day is today? And I have tons of meetings. I'm like, how can I not remember? But yeah, so what I would do for people, what I really want to impress upon everybody during this pandemic, take some time, do some self-care, relax, spend some time with your family, watch some Netflix. Yes, do all that. But also do some things. Take some classes, schedule some social media in advance. This will probably be the only time.
Wait, look, let me get that one down.
Yes, this will probably be the only time in your whole life that you would have this much time. I don't want people to regret this time. You know what I'm saying? Look back because once you get back to work, once people get back in, people are going to be busy. Like, I mean,
the floodgate.
They're not going to be able to think. So now is a great time to take some classes, create some processes and procedures, some automations. Okay. I'm teaching a class tonight with Kim. A lot of people ask me all the time how I got my Instagram account verified. Everybody knows how Kim got it verified. Kim Kimball, she was on LA Hair for 5 seasons. So obviously, she's well known. And
she's Beyonce's hairstylist too.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
I say Beyonce, but it's also like Nicki Minaj, Halle Berry. I mean, she's worked on everyone. And
Mary J. Blige, Oprah, and it's just so many people.
Come on. Yeah. So she's
so many people. So so I'm doing a class the other night. People are asking me, look, I'm just a regular old person, and I got my Instagram account verified. So people ask me that all the time. Now, people, I said earlier, money, monetize, right? So This is the thing, taking it back to corporate, perception is reality. People associate your Instagram account with verified, that little blue check right there. People associate that with success. They associate you with being important. You get more credibility and trust from your audience. So it's a great way to separate yourself from the crowd. Okay. A lot of people, I do think it is valuable because the way you actually get verified, you're going to have benefit even if you don't get verified. So like I use the example of, let's say I've gained a few pounds, you know what I'm saying, especially during this quarantine. And I
Corona
want
19, they call it.
exactly the quarantine 15. But I want to, I want to get back into my clothes, right? So I might have this vanity goal of I want to fit into that dress to go to, I guess, to my living room. But anyway,
Grand
but that's
opening of
another
the living
story.
room.
I want to fit into my dress that I can't fit anymore. So I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat more fruits. I'm going to eat more vegetables, right? I'm going to be more disciplined.
Right.
So let's say, for instance, I don't meet my goal. I don't lose all the weight to fit into the dress, but the ending result is now I'm healthier. Now my blood pressure has gone down. Now my cholesterol is better, whatever it is. So with that being said, with getting verified, the crazy thing is that it has nothing to do with your Instagram account. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. You don't have to be a celebrity, right? One of the main things is actually improving your online presence, not your social media. Okay. So getting other people to talk about you, getting news articles. So if you Google my name, I've had some amazing press. Yeah, I had some amazing press. I have never hired a PR person. This is no shade to PR people, but as a small business, a lot of times that can be a very expensive, service, and especially without guaranteed results. So
I know. I looked into getting a press release done, and I think he charged 60 cents a word.
Oh wow,
or something like that. I remember I looked at my words, and I was like, once I can get it down to $100, I'll call you back. Yeah.
Right.
They can be really pricey.
Right, and there's no guaranteed results. And so what I've done is in the class, I'm actually going to be, that's a huge part of getting verified. I'm going to be sharing with people how I've been able to secure press for my barbershop since 2013, radio, TV, news, video, online, consistently at least twice a year since 2013. And I didn't even know what I was doing, to be honest, at the time. I don't even know what made me do it in the first place. I don't know. That's why I say it must have been God, because I had no idea. This is not what I learned. I didn't grow up like this, okay? But it really works. And I know even when I teach people things sometimes, and some people are like, look, I don't connect. So what I did is in the class, I actually created a press release generator. I coded one. So don't worry if you're like, look, Susan, I don't get it. You just fill out a little form and it'll email you your press release.
Awesome. That's perfect for people like me who are dyslexic, that I always have to get like 3 or 5 other eyes on things that are, so a lot of times that'll keep me from doing things. I'm like, I don't really want to ask somebody to proofread this again.
Yeah, well, you still will have to proofread it, because you'll see as you go through and you read out loud, you go, oh, I see. Okay, let me just take this word out, connect this sentence. Okay, like you'll see it. It'll give you the flow. It'll give you like all your sentences, and you might say, oh wait, okay, let me just change this to is to the just a few little words like that, and you're like, okay, it's done.
And it's not just for beauty professionals either, because known as the social barber, but you work with a lot more people than just barbers. And this work for more than just barbers as well.
Do, right? And I've done a lot. I started out doing this like through community service, but I've used the same strategy for PR, for paid customers and for paid events. And I've been able to secure TV news interviews, and even had the news come on site for even paid events. So it works. What can I say?
No, make sure we get that link so I can post it in the comments as well. So
yes.
Know where to go get the class, because it's a special deal that you're offering with it as well. Like the first 100, I think, is 90%
right.
off.
First 100 people are 90% off, quarantine because the Rona.
I try to make it 100. You're like,
right. I know we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm not quite sure we are. I have to check. But yeah, I want to make sure. I want to teach people how to fish. People kind of like, they like the fame part, but imagine if you're able to get this free press for yourself, which is a lot of small businesses would never be able to afford the amount of press that you can get for free. And, so if you know how to do this, you can send it out. And if you don't get any coverage, it's no love lost. It wasn't like, hey, I invested this much money into this and I didn't get any results.
Right. Yeah.
You can send out one a month.
Right. Or expand your pool maybe further away because
Right.
you don't always have to stick to the lakes and rivers that you're used to.
That's right. That's right.
Your
That's
painting behind you makes me think of waterfalls. So I
that's
think
right.
finally made
That's right.
so
So
but
one thing that's funny is during quarantine now, like this, I'm in my office right now. I have a studio in my basement, but
oh
my
okay.
husband, he's like, oh, I'm going to my apartment. I'm like, so he's down there so much now that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to redo this because this is my only thing I can count on is being in this office. So this picture's gonna be gone. I'm gonna be getting a different background. I'm just gonna keep it in my office because there's too many people around here. Okay, I can't get stuff done.
I know. Well, how is everything as far as like, do you have any tips for people as far as balancing everything? Like, since you got your husband's, well, you guys both own the Headliners Barbershop. Then you also do
Headlines.
the social barber. And how do I put this delicately? When you're dealing with beauty professionals,
Yeah.
it can be a lot of hand holding sometimes, or a
Mhm,
lot of
mhm.
babysitting just within that sometimes. I don't want to say babysitting because that sounds really bad, but hand holding. But I used to be
Yeah.
a spa director. So that's why I'm like,
Mhm.
they can be very needy
Right.
and maybe not very tech savvy either. So I
Mhm.
love that you're making all these products to make it really streamlined and easy for anyone to
Right.
use. But what are some more things that that people can expect from your classes that are beyond today that you're offering?
Okay. Yeah.
Just in
So
case they're
I
not interested in getting certified on Instagram because maybe they're not on Instagram yet, but
right.
just
Right.
help. They might not even know what we're talking about right now, just
Okay.
because you do so many different things,
I
or even with the
do.
Zooms, like even because you have with Zooms and even like Calendly or something. I don't remember all the apps you work with, but
Yeah.
help us that are
Yes.
not as tech
Yes. I
savvy as
will
you
help you. I will help you. So
what
one
we
of
can look forward to.
Yeah, so okay, I know people are like, why is she talking about this if she's a social media person? Okay.
Mhm.
Social media is just the place you meet people. I want to help people create the products. A lot of people are like, okay, I want to make money, but I don't know how. So
Mhm.
social media is where you network and you find the clients. Now you have to show them, okay, is it an ebook? I'll be doing classes on how to create your own ebook and how to sell it. How to actually, I'm doing an advanced class. I did like a little fun class on Zoom to show people how to use it, but I'm
Okay.
actually going to be creating is very soon. Very, I mean, like when I say very soon, like blink, okay, like
Oh,
or
drops
short
at
of years, okay,
midnight on
it's going to
Zoom.
be available. So you guys are getting a preview, but I'm going to be actually creating like a plug and play online class. So if people want to start selling things and doing online classes, it's going to be like a plug and play. Like here's your landing page, here's your schedule, like what do you do every day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, okay, I want to teach an online class. I hear you can make money, but I don't know what to do.
Or
How
where
do I
to
do it?
start,
Like, what
right?
do I do? So I'm going to be having, and it's going to be plug and play. Here's
Okay.
a template for your landing page. Here's your schedule every day. So it's like, you don't have to think, you just have to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that's one. I had a class
Yeah.
on a website where I created actually all of the different kind of documents that you would need, like a website. It's just a template that I created. You just drop your pictures in there, change your links. I created coupons, letterhead templates, all this kind of stuff. That was people loved that class because they had their websites up in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
And
These
these are
are
not
taking
coders,
hours to do mine. I
right?
won't
And
say
these are
what
not people
website
who
service, but
code, okay?
I don't go. Yeah. Like I paid extra for the drop in play, I guess is the right term. See, I don't even know that right term, but yeah, the copy and paste or just like they had like a template already, and I just kind
Yeah.
of moved things around a little bit enough to kind of make it look maybe not like everybody else's template that's probably
And
using
that's
the
okay.
same program, but
Yeah,
one of
that's
the joys of
okay.
loving pink is that a lot of people don't use
Hey,
it.
that works.
So that worked in my favor, but
Mhm.
I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Zoom because you
Yeah.
are always doing these classes through
Uh-huh.
Zoom. And a lot of people now are having to do Zoom for everyday work, not just
Yep.
for classes. But
Mhm.
what are some of your tips for making sure that your Zoom is interesting or that, like, just in general, what are some of the pet peeves you've seen from Zooms that you would be like, this is what I would change, this is what you should do, or at
Okay.
least give a couple of few tips?
Okay.
I know what mine are, but it's better if it comes from a professional because maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. Zoom professional here. Yeah, so I actually,
We've
it's
been using
funny.
it for 5 years. We've been using it for 2 months.
I am certified in Zoom. No, no, actually, it's funny. My husband always gets on me because I can't help it. Like I'm like this person that I love to help people, and he's always like, "Mind your business," you know. Like I can't. I see people making mistakes. I have to tell them. So,
Right.
anyways, one of the things that drives me crazy, if you're going to be teaching a class in Zoom, listen, honey, please go ahead and just get the webinar feature. And so a meeting, right? A meeting is where everybody can talk. Like Camille and I, you can see us, we can both talk. If we were on Zoom, I'd be able to unmute my mic and turn my video on or off. That's
Okay.
a meeting. If you're going to teach a class, do a webinar. It costs more. It's an upgrade feature. But the reason why you want to do that is because if you're teaching a class and you have very important information you need to share, then people are going to be interrupting. And a lot of other people don't know how to use Zoom. So what's going to happen is they don't know how to mute the button. They don't have, I had a lot of practice in corporate America doing this, okay? I know to mute
That's
and
what it
unmute,
is. Okay.
okay? I'm a professional there. But a lot of people don't understand it's new to them. So you don't want them messing up your recording or the experience for the rest of your class. So if it's
Oh,
only
tell me
you that's
about it.
presenting, right? So if it's only you that's presenting, which is how a webinar works, then that makes a huge difference. And then now, guess what? Now you can reuse that recording because it's clean.
Oh, I like that repurposing you
Yeah,
always do.
I'm all about
Ah,
it.
see, work hard. Look, what is it? Work smarter, not harder. Keep
Right,
going.
right.
Can't-
Yeah, so
oh, so
definitely do
sweet.
the webinar feature. That is huge, okay? Because it first, please just do the webinar feature, please, please. Okay, that is definitely what I would say. Definitely go ahead and have a PowerPoint ready if you're going to be on Zoom. And the reason why I say this is be prepared. Know what you're going to talk about. Have a purpose, right? Drive the conversation. Like, don't get on there and think, hey, what do you guys want to ask me about? Okay, because sometimes what if nobody asks any questions? Like have an agenda, have a few slides, some links maybe that you want to share in Zoom. You can actually share your whole desktop. You can even share your phone screen, okay?
I've seen you do that. I wondered how you did that. I thought it was like an extra third party thing, but it's straight. Okay.
Yep, it
Yeah.
is Zoom. It is definitely Zoom. So that's one of the reasons why, even though sometimes Zoom doesn't give me the highest quality in my video, I love it because it's easy. It's easy. Android, iPhone, whatever kind of system you've got, download the app. It's super easy. And you can even, so I do so many things on social media. So I want to be able to share my phone screen so people can see how I do things.
I like the phone screen sharing because
Yeah.
I will admit the software I use for my shows, we can't do that yet. And
Yeah.
I just recently, oh yeah, the box is already over there. I just recently wasted some money on a oh, what's it called? You would know this. I guess it's so you can use your camera as your webcam, since webcams are impossible to find right now.
They
Thanks to all
are.
the Zooms. They're like $300 for a $60 webcam, which I refuse to do, Amazon.
Yeah.
That's price gouging, by the way. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But I bought something that I thought, but it was only for gamers. And they were like, oh, yeah, you have to use this third party, this and that and this to make it work. I'm like, yeah, nah. I'm not that girl. Because I guess they have like a cam link where you just plug it right into your camera and then you can use that as your webcam. Are stuck with using my computer as my webcam for now until I guess they get back in stock wherever they are.
I know they disappeared so quickly, didn't they?
Fast. And I get it because if all of corporate America is using it, as well as teachers and universities, everybody's using it.
An entrepreneur.
I get it, but exactly. But at the same time, don't wait for perfection. Just go ahead and do
You
it.
have
I know.
to. Done is better than perfect all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to be mindful of your time because I know you have your class tonight and we have like 15 more minutes until it's 7. So is there anything else you would love to share about social media or all the other different hats that you wear? And I honestly, I'll let you do your part first, but I also wanted to ask you, since you do own a salon, what your thoughts are about things opening back up and salon safety a little bit too. So
yeah, so okay, so let's talk about that. I've actually started putting some things together. You know, I own a barbershop. We've got 8 barbers in my barbershop. So we got a pretty good, decent sized shop. I asked my husband, I said, so how many people, like on a busy day, how many people, you know, how many customers? And I think he said about 200. So it's, yeah, a lot of people. So especially during this time, we really have to figure out how to keep everybody safe, the barbers, our customers, just everybody. We want to make sure everybody stays safe. So I've been thinking through a lot of things I'll share. I'm still trying to get Mr. Bennett to talk, you know, to plan this whole thing out. But I started thinking, okay, first of all, I've ordered face shields for the barbers, because what people don't realize, you can actually get it through your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. So even if they wear a mask like this, there needs to be some kind of a protection for their eyes. So that's why I ordered these. I actually created some masks that I have. That was one of my classes, is creating your own merchandise, but I have some masks. I'm trying to see, oh, here it is actually.
I love a girl that's prepared with merch. Come on,
merch. You can just wear it around your neck. My husband loves it. He just wears it around his neck, and then he just pulls it up.
I love it.
So, but yes, I'm ordering, I've ordered some of these for my barbers. I've, you know, like I mentioned, I've got the face shields. I want to have trays for each barber so that they can be conscious of what they've actually touched. Okay. Because the beauty industry is an industry where people have had, you know, they're really big on sanitization already, right? And sanitizing, but
very hands-on,
right?
As well, too. Like, I don't know how they're going to do a lot of their jobs with gloves on. That's another part where I'm just like,
right, or how the customers can wear masks if they're working on their facial hair. Oof. Yeah, so that's something that
those cute beards, ladies.
So, you know, so one of the things I thought about too, I know people are saying, so I've thought about ordering some very inexpensive capes. We are lucky enough to have a washer and dryer in the back. So I think I'm gonna order about like 100 capes, and as soon as the customer wears them, they just put them into the hamper. Okay. And then that way, you know, we've got the temperature check. Of course, people are asymptomatic, so temperature checks, you know, it is what it is, right? Right. But temperature checks, you know, asking our clients not to wait in the barbershop if they're not being serviced, to actually wait outside. Okay. Okay. So I'm waiting to see what the governor says, you know, what the requirements and restrictions are going forward, because we might have to space out our days. We might have to be open 7 days a week so that we can kind of stagger out the clients. So still figuring all those pieces out.
It's very interesting, because even with, since you work with also celebrity hairstylists that work on films and sets, like I know there was Lionsgate recently listed out what their different compliance for, and of course I looked into hair and makeup, because as a talent, I wanted to know, wait, what are these hair and makeup artists going to be doing to me? Right. Like, how can I feel safe if, you know, you're putting lipstick on me, you know, and maybe you just use that same lipstick on someone else. And I mean, they're really good usually about changing brushes and all that. Like I've never had a makeup artist that I've worked with that wasn't a complete professional in that sense, but it's a little different when it's death on the line. Exactly. As opposed to maybe you might catch a cold or something like that. So,
but even like, I mean, okay, so people keep trying to kind of minimize this whole thing because they feel like, well, you know, it's like a bad cold, or some people like this is more than a bad cold. Like, I mean, people are in the hospital, like even, you know, healthy people, they could end up being sick in the hospital for 3 days. It's a significant illness.
Yeah, I had a guest a couple of weeks ago. She was sick for 37 days. And during that time, there were sometimes she was asymptomatic, but she still tested positive. So she stayed under quarantine, and all of her, like completely, none of her symptoms left until her test was negative. And that was 37 days.
That's a long time.
And super healthy, 34, works out, eats clean, nothing like me. In other words, I'm kidding. Just kidding. I'm actually a pretty good healthy.
Yeah, we're gonna work it out later. We're gonna worry about it later.
But at the same time, it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, it's kind of like Russian roulette in the sense of you don't really know where your symptoms could land. Right. You could just be a cold. You could be asymptomatic the entire time. Right. You could also end up bringing that to someone else and killing them. And that's
Right.
the other issue of it, where,
Right.
just
Exactly.
making sure that it's safe, not only for your employees, but also for your clients and whoever they
Mhm.
may go in contact with after leaving your spa or salon or wherever your services may be. And it's kind of scary, but it's also like comforting and having the right information and making sure that wherever you're going, they're following all the procedures, because you don't want to get lax on this. It's not something, because like you mentioned, they go through all these
Mhm.
sanitations. When you're going through school, you are taught always wear gloves, to use
Mhm.
disposables for as much as
Exactly.
you can. And it's funny enough, when the first makeup job I had was working at Clinique, and we were only allowed to use disposables. So we had to use
Mhm.
cotton swabs, cotton balls, and like the foundation sponges for the entire makeup look, like eyeshadow, everything
Yeah.
had to be put on with Q-tips. And I learned so much because you had like pretty much the worst tools possible to do everything, because
Right.
they didn't make brushes then.
Yeah.
They were such a allergy-free, safe, like that was
Uh-huh.
their whole brand, that I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna have to probably go back to that." And I've been watching these different sanitation videos just to get an idea, because I feel
Mhm.
like there's a lot of security in knowing what their options are and how safe people can be. And I love hearing
Mhm.
from actual like spa owners, salon owners directly, like what,
Mhm.
even for us coming into your spa or salon. Sorry, I've
Mhm.
always worked in spas, so
Yeah.
that's my word, but barbershops. But what would you like for even clients to be aware of when coming in? Because I see people all the time not being compliant
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
So, and there was like the funniest video ever. We're
Mhm.
Facebook friends, I think maybe saw it, I don't know, where
Uh-huh.
she was like, "Don't come in if you have a cough, if you
Oh, I've
look
seen
like
it.
you got to sneeze,
Yep.
if you've been hanging around a lot of people." Like, so what would you like for people to know, or to get your word out as well for being safe?
Yeah, so I definitely want, everybody to be conscious of other people. It's a respect kind of thing right now. Just keeping other people in mind. And even if no matter what you believe or what conspiracy theory you read or heard about, or, whether or not people need to build their immune system, that is beside the point right now. We need to make sure that we're making other people feel comfortable. When like you mentioned earlier, for some people, it is a matter of life and death. Some people
Mhm.
don't have a choice of building their immune system. They have other conditions or other things where they're unable to do that. So it's just really about being respectful and being conscious of other people, trying not to get too close to people. You don't know what's going on with somebody else. So just really being super conscious of other people, just keeping space, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Keeping space between people, not getting too close. I am going to be working on, Mr. Bennett and I have actually been debating about this, but I'm going to be working on some, just some
Okay.
release forms just to kind of keep everybody, we're going to be having, signs and things like that, just to let people know what the expectations are.
Mhm.
Waiting outside until your actual appointment, coming in, washing your hands, wearing a mask,
Yeah.
at, at as much as possible, right? Like we talked about facial hair and things like that. I don't know how you get around that with a mask.
Yeah.
But
Because it needs to cover the nose and the mouth. And that's another thing I keep seeing people do. Like, your mask is down here, it's doing nothing. Or it's only doing
right,
a third of the job. But now thinking about it, we should be going out in face shields.
right. I've seen that a lot too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but a lot of times we're not talking about the eyes too.
Mhm.
And that's a really important thing. So, just making sure we're washing our hands. We're going to make sure we've been collecting supplies, not hoarding them, but collecting them, because when you have a business, you got to make sure you have enough soap for 200 plus people, right? You got to
Mhm.
make sure you have soap, paper towels, toilet paper,
So
all those
you're the
good things.
one. No, I'm kidding.
What'd you say?
I was joking. I said, so you're the one when you said
No,
toilet paper.
no,
I was
no.
joking. I'm
But
joking.
yeah, but I mean, that's
No,
something that people aren't really
that's
talking
real.
about a lot. But if you own
Mhm.
a business, it can be a challenge to make sure that you've gotten all of those supplies.
Yeah, I know with my husband, he works for UPS, and I had to get
Mhm.
his supplies because just even UPS couldn't get the resources that they needed, and they're delivering a lot of the stuff. But
Right.
I mean, I was stalking places looking for hand sanitizer just so he
Mhm.
could have it with him. But
And sometimes going out into like um, some of the more rural areas, they'll have
mhm.
more things sometimes.
Or the ethnic stores.
That's right.
Because that's one of the good things about living in areas that maybe people are xenophobic. They're not going there.
Right.
So I'm not
Right.
scared to because I'm wearing
Right.
my mask. I don't care,
But
So
you know,
those
a
are
lot of
another good places.
places people don't realize, like places like Home Depot, they sell hand
Mhm.
sanitizer by the gallon.
Right. Oh, look at you dropping more gems.
Right.
I'm
So you
saying,
might need to go ahead and stock up, invest a little bit.
yeah. Wow. Well, I know you have your class
Yeah.
tonight and you have other classes coming up. Where can everybody keep up with you? Where's the best? Because you're everywhere. So what's your favorite social media for people to reach out to you or to follow you to find information in a timely manner since
Yes. Yeah.
that's
So
another
Instagram is
curse
my
of
jam.
yeah, I really wish like one of them was chronological because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'd love to go to that Zoom and it's 2 days ago.
Exactly. I know. That's why
Yeah.
I say get on my email list. Get
Oh, that's
on my
it.
email list.
Okay.
Any of my freebies, if you use my hashtag generator, if you download my 2020 Instagram guide, any of those freebies that I've got, guys, by the way, I'm building my email list. Keep building your email list. That is another big gem people don't tell you. You've got to. You're going to get those unsubscribed. So keep focusing on the subscribes. Okay. But I digress. To answer your question, yeah, so if anybody needs to reach me, I actually do better answering DMs on Instagram than I even do at text messages, which is a little crazy. Get on my email list. I am really doing a better job now on my emails of keeping everybody informed. And definitely stay tuned. I am really super excited about just this time to really rejuvenate. Like, I've wanted to spend so much time focusing on just teaching. I always wanted to be a teacher, but like I said, I grew up super poor and I was like, oh, I'm really not trying to go back there.
Yeah, we don't play our teachers that great in this
I
state. It's like
know
last
this
in
is
the nation
terrible,
or
and it's
second
teacher
to last.
appreciation week.
Oh yeah, and Nurses Day. So thanks to
That's
both of you
right.
guys.
So this is kind of crazy because I'm super enthusiastic, super excited about teaching marketing to business owners. So now I'm going to really just be focusing on classes instead of one-on-one things.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Season, so much for being on my show today. We covered so many great topics. And of course, you gave us such great gems that will help all of us bring our business to that next level so we can be verified, blue check staff.
Right. Check this out tonight, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing my class with Kim Kimball on how to get verified on Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again for being my guest. I absolutely adore you. And we did talk about, I was like, wait, we didn't even talk about your barbershop's good deed, but we did with the paying off the debt. We didn't.
We didn't go into big detail.
We didn't go into big detail. Okay. Well, I just ask real quick because I have 2 more minutes.
Of course.
Have you kept in contact with any of those seniors? What are they doing now?
That's a great question. I am going to reach out. What I wanted to do, like I know that might sound crazy that I'm saying this, but what I wanted to do is sometimes I know people can feel a little weird about help. They can feel a little, and they didn't tell me this, but I just wanted to do something blind.
Okay.
I wanted to do something like, I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know anything. Like, take this blessing, move on, pass it on. I don't want you to feel like you owe me. You don't owe us.
Right.
Amazing things have happened to me in my life that I didn't even know to pray for them or to think or to ask for. I couldn't even imagine them. So I just wanted to be that for somebody else. You gotta pass it on. You can't keep the blessings. You gotta pass them on.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I didn't keep in touch because I want them. They're gone. Their job is to fly now. Just go fly, live that
I just didn't
life.
know. I guess growing up with that show, Where Are They Now? You're always like, I wonder whatever happened there. If there was more heartfelt things to come from that, like finish their first year of college and
a lot of people, you would be very surprised to know this. A lot of people actually came to me and they were kind of telling me maybe you shouldn't help them. Because maybe they didn't deserve it. Do you know why they owe this debt? Maybe did they do, what did they do? And you know what? None of that mattered to me.
No.
None of that mattered to me because I felt like, you know what? I've gotten a lot of blessings in my life that I didn't deserve. I've been very blessed. And so I just said, you know what? It doesn't even matter to me. Maybe they did something bad. Hey, we were all 16 or 17 before. We did not make the best decisions. Okay. if it wasn't for, I always tell my daughter, that's why you have parents.
And that's why there's college too, to kind of get some experimenting out of your way before you go straight to work and find out you can't do any of that.
Exactly. So that's why everything I did, I just did it blindly. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do something. You know, my mom said she still has nightmares to this day because she almost didn't graduate from high school. And it's because her mother moved a lot. And so she missed a lot of days of school. So she, you know, for her, she's very passionate about it. And I know that somebody not graduating or not being able to walk or not being able to start college because they weren't even going to give them their transcripts.
Wow.
That could be a major, like, fork in the road for somebody's whole life. That could be the one moment that changes your whole life. So I was like, you know what, like, it came to me and I was obedient. It was that thought, it was that voice that I talk about, and I just was obedient. And I'll tell you this, that was what's I didn't even have this in my mind. I didn't even know, but that was a major factor of me being verified on Instagram.
Well, there you go. You know, and you pay it forward. It comes back twice sometimes.
It does.
I just noticed that there was a couple of questions, so I'm going to make sure real quick because it is 7. What is next on your vision board to accomplish? Okay,
that's a great question. So, what's next on my vision board to accomplish? Really, what I want to do, and this is funny, I'm actually working on this right now. I really want to just be exclusively classes, not really doing services one-on-one anymore. I just really want to teach consistently, just teach. I love teaching classes. I love creating systems, processes, procedures, tools for everybody.
And you're so energetic, so it's not boring to watch you, I would also like to add.
You know what's funny? Yeah. If you caught me before the camera turns on or before I start talking about what I love, you can be like, who is that girl? I don't recognize her because she over there looking sad. Okay.
There's something about that camera for some of us.
I just come alive when I talk about this and when I share this information and just I keep that in my mind, like somebody out here, you know, they always make that meme. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you know, and somebody needs to hear what I've got to say. And I'm really excited. Just, you know, if I've ever helped you, please let me know how it's helped you, what results you've gotten, because it fuels me in a way that getting my corporate paycheck didn't. Okay.
I would totally agree with that.
It feeds my soul.
Speaking of that, there's a lot of comments, so I'm just going to run through them really quickly because most of them are just giving you praise for your good information.
Thank you.
Since it fuels you, you'll be ready for your 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yes.
Make sure I go past. Consistency is the biggest truth in plain sight. You are dropping true gems of knowledge, Season. These are riches in niches.
That's right.
I had to be very careful about saying that because that is definitely a tongue twister.
You don't want to say any other words around there.
Right? I was like, she's trying to set me up. She's my cousin. She likes to do stuff like that to me, but that's all right. I didn't fall for it. And then she said, that's me. Yes, keep teaching and sharing. You are born for spreading your knowledge. Courtney Harris says, smart. Carly Freeman said, absolutely. I'm assuming when you were talking about all the great things as far as being consistent and so on. They love the disposable capes are good too. They're like ponchos. Latasha Rose says, hello from Houston. And then yes, build that back in. That's probably from the emails.
Yes, you got to get it.
Yeah. Miss Season, you are delightful. That's for my mom, Olivia Gatewood.
Thank you,
and she's married to an Anson County guy.
Yes.
My
and
mom's
that's
from
funny because
County.
I don't even know how we came across each other in the first place. And then come to find out that, I
went to high school with your husband.
Right.
What are the odds? I mean, granted, I went to 26 different schools, so it's very highly that I went to school with somebody.
Right. But we just found this out.
That big of a town. Yeah.
So crazy. It's a very small town. So that was kind of like, whoa, really? Wow.
Most people don't even know it exists.
Right.
And so another one, it's your gift. Your gift is making room for passions. That's the
definitely.
That's the last
Indeed. It always works out with that.
Well, we are over. We are at 7:05. So again, thank you so much for doing this for me today. I appreciate appreciate you. I love your classes, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for offering them, especially during this time when so many people, like you mentioned, are working on improving themselves. It's great to have someone of your caliber available to them and teaching on this level so we can all elevate our skill set so we can be like Susan Bennett too.
That's right. But I want to be like, I want to give you the knowledge you can be the best you.
Oh, absolutely. I just mean verified. Check.
That's
check.
right. Get that check. Thank you so much, Camille. And let me know. I'd love to come back.
Look, girl, you done made a mistake because I'll have you on every month doing classes.
Hey.
All right. Well, thanks again so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you on Instagram, I'm sure soon.
See you on the gram. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. How fun. I hope you got some great notes. You got some knowledge, something to really work on. And maybe now you're thinking, I don't need to wait for that perfect moment. Ooh, excuse me. Speaking of that, I don't need to wait for that perfect moment. I don't need to wait for the right gear, the right equipment. Just go for it. So many people right now need your services, whatever it is that you're thinking of doing. Let this be your sign to go out and start doing it. I mean, it's meant to be, right? At least you can try. So, who is her husband? Her husband is Derek Bennett. I think his name's Derek Bennett. We'll talk off of Instagram. Off of Facebook. We'll find out more because there's a lot of Bennetts in my family, so they all sound alike right about now. I'm like, it's not Otis Bennett. That's my cousin. Anyway, have a great night. Thank you for watching. I'll be on again tomorrow, 6 o'clock. And I don't know if you guys noticed my beautiful lashes today, but the owner, creator, the doctor behind them, she will be on tomorrow explaining more about all of this beautiful mink lashes that I'm wearing. I was too excited to wait until tomorrow to test them out. I had to go ahead and try them out today. Plus, I wanted to see how long they would last, and they've been lasting for hours so far. So I'm very excited about them. They do not aggravate me. They do not stick to your eyelashes, and I haven't taken them off yet, so I don't think they pull off lashes. We'll find out tomorrow, but I'll have her at 2 o'clock tomorrow talking with her in my e-spotlight. E-spotlight is when I do just a special segment with different business owners so they can kind of explain how their businesses came about and explain their products and so on, just so we can all learn more about them, go a little bit deeper and ask some questions. So she'll be on it too. And then at 6 o'clock, I have Dr. Donna Marie, who I'm so excited about. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She's doing amazing things in the nonprofit world as well as the mental health area. So she's the perfect woman to have this month for May for Mental Health Awareness Month as well. I cannot wait to talk to her. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow at 2 and at 6 o'clock. Awkward bye time while I look for the stop button.